Peace be upon you. Today, we embark on an epic journey into the world of Tekken, a saga of horror, love, crime, and relentless battles. If you enjoy this adventure, please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on more captivating stories. Let's dive into the intricate legacy of Tekken. In a world teetering on the brink of chaos, the Mishima family stands at the center of a dark and twisted empire. Heihachi Mishima, the patriarch, is a man whose ambition knows no bounds. His ruthless nature drives him to seek power at any cost, including the betrayal of his own blood. Fearing that his son, Kazuya Mishima, possesses a strength that could rival his own, Heihachi decides to test Kazuya's resilience in the most brutal way imaginable. He throws him off a cliff, a heartless act that marks the beginning of a blood-soaked legacy, the Mishima curse. Kazuya does not perish. Instead, he clings to life, fueled by an insatiable thirst for revenge. This traumatic experience awakens a dormant darkness within him, the Devil Jin, a sinister force that grants him extraordinary power but also threatens to consume his humanity. As Kazuya grows, he becomes a man driven by rage, vengeance, and an unquenchable desire to confront the father who betrayed him. Years later, Kazuya returns, transformed into a demonic figure shrouded in mystery and fury. His journey is marked by a series of brutal confrontations with various fighters, each representing different aspects of his torment. Among these fighters is Jin Kazama, a woman of extraordinary grace and compassion. Drawn to Kazuya's tortured soul, she sees past the anger that consumes him and recognizes the pain buried deep within. Their love blossoms amidst the chaos, offering Kazuya a glimmer of hope and redemption. Together, they create a child, Jin Kazama, whose very existence symbolizes the possibility of a brighter future. Yet, tragedy strikes when Jin mysteriously disappears, leaving Kazuya heartbroken and vulnerable. The loss pushes him further into the abyss, intensifying his desire for revenge and engulfing him in the darkness of his past. Meanwhile, Jin grows up under the watchful eye of his grandfather, Heihachi, who sees the boy not as a cherished grandchild but as a pawn in his relentless quest for power. Jin's childhood is fraught with conflict as he grapples with the horrifying truth of his lineage. The Devil Jin lurks within him, a reminder of the darkness he inherited from his father. Struggling to control this sinister power, he is torn between the desire for a normal life and the weight of the curse that binds his family. Each night, he dreams of his mother, Jin, whose soothing voice urges him to fight against the evil that threatens to consume him. Her presence becomes a guiding light, pushing him to confront his fears and embrace his true self. As Jin matures, he learns of the King of Iron Fist tournament, a brutal competition that draws fighters from around the world. It promises glory and the chance to prove one's strength, but for many, it is a stage for revenge. Among the competitors are Nina Williams, a skilled assassin with a vendetta against her sister, and Warang, a martial artist eager to confront Jin and settle the score from their previous battles. The tournament becomes a crucible of blood and betrayal, where alliances are forged and rivalries ignited. Each fighter Jin encounters embodies a different facet of the struggle. Some represent the light he longs to protect, while others personify the darkness he fears. As he battles through the ranks, he feels the Devil Jin's influence creeping ever closer, tempting him to unleash its power. The tension builds as he realizes that he cannot escape his lineage. The shadows of his ancestors loom large over him. One fateful evening, as Jin prepares for his first tournament match, he encounters a mysterious fighter known only as Raven. Clad in dark attire and emanating an air of secrecy, Raven approaches Jin with a solemn warning. The Devil Jin is a curse that runs deep in your veins. You must learn to control it, or it will consume you, he warns, his voice echoing with urgency. Jin, initially dismissive, begins to sense the weight of his lineage and the dangers that lie ahead. As the tournament commences, Jin faces his opponents with a mix of determination and dread. Each fight forces him to confront the inner turmoil stirred by the Devil Jin. He recalls the dreams of his mother, urging him to fight for what is right. Yet, with every victory, he feels the seductive pull of darkness threatening to overwhelm him. In his first match, Jin faces a fierce fighter named Paul Phoenix, known for his incredible strength and tenacity. The crowd roars as they clash, their strikes echoing through the arena. The intensity of the battle reveals Jin's skill, but also the burgeoning power of the Devil Jin, which he struggles to keep in check. The match ends in a narrow victory for Jin, but the cost is high. His resolve begins to waver as he feels the darkness whispering in his ear. Meanwhile, Kazuya, driven by revenge, continues his brutal quest to confront Heihachi. The memory of Jun's disappearance haunts him, fueling his desire to find answers. He embarks on a journey to seek out the enigmatic Azazel, an ancient entity that holds the key to understanding the Devil Jin. As Kazuya delves deeper into the world of crime and betrayal, he finds himself embroiled in a conflict that transcends mere family feuds. Kazuya's search leads him to an underground fight club known as the G Corporation, where ruthless fighters compete for glory and power. Here, he encounters a formidable opponent named Brian Fury, a relentless cyborg fueled by rage and violence. Their clash is a brutal spectacle, showcasing Kazuya's mastery of the Devil Jin and Brian's sheer brutality. The fight is fierce, but Kazuya emerges victorious, yet he feels the weight of his choices closing in on him. In the aftermath, Kazuya confronts Azazel, who reveals the truth about the Devil Jin, a curse that transcends generations, binding the Mishima bloodline in a cycle of violence and vengeance. Azazel's dark presence looms over Kazuya, whispering promises of power and destruction. As Kazuya grapples with the temptation, he realizes that embracing the darkness may cost him his soul. Back in the tournament, Jin continues to rise through the ranks, each victory drawing him closer to the inevitable confrontation with Kazuya and Heihachi. The atmosphere in the arena is electric as the fighters engage in fierce battles, their motivations fueling their relentless desire to win. Jin's next opponent is Hwoarang, a skilled martial artist with a deep-seated grudge against him. The fight is intense, a clash of skill and resolve. Hwoarang channels his anger and determination, seeking revenge for past grievances. Jin, too, fights with a blend of desperation and hope, yearning to prove himself. Their battle culminates in a breathtaking display of martial arts, each fighter pushing the other to their limits. As the dust settles, Jin emerges victorious, but the cost weighs heavily on his conscience. After the match, Jin confronts Hwoarang, who reveals the depth of his resentment and the pain of losing to a rival. You think you can just rise to the top without understanding the struggles of those beneath you? You're just a pawn in this game. Hwoarang's words linger in Jin's mind, forcing him to question his own motives. As the tournament progresses, Jin's victories are overshadowed by the encroaching darkness of the Devil Jin. The temptation to unleash its power grows stronger with each passing fight. He begins to fear what he might become, grappling with the very essence of his identity. Kazuya, consumed by vengeance, reaches a breaking point. In a confrontation with Heihachi, the brutal battles escalate into a cataclysm of power. The two engage in a ferocious duel, their strikes echoing like thunder through the air. Kazuya, driven by rage, taps into the full potential of the Devil Jin, transforming into a formidable force that threatens to consume everything in its path. As they clash, memories of their tumultuous past flood their minds. The betrayals, the pain, and the love that once existed. But the darkness clouds their judgment, and they become lost in the cycle of hatred that has defined their relationship. With each blow, Kazuya feels the power of the Devil Jin surge within him, threatening to unravel the very fabric of his humanity. In a moment of desperation, Heihachi appeals to his son's humanity. Kazuya, you are stronger than this darkness. Don't let it consume you. His words resonate within Kazuya, momentarily breaking through the haze of anger. But the Devil Jin whispers insidiously, urging him to unleash its full power. As the final rounds of the tournament approach, Jin feels the weight of his family's legacy pressing down on him. The moment of confrontation with his father and grandfather looms closer, and he grapples with the choices that will shape his destiny. In a pivotal match against Nino Williams, Jin finds himself fighting not just for victory but for his very soul. The arena is charged with energy as Jin faces Nina, whose deadly skills and vendetta drive her forward. The battle is brutal, a clash of wills as they exchange blows. Nina, fueled by her desire for revenge against her sister, fights with a ferocity that leaves the crowd in awe. Jin, caught in the turmoil of his own emotions, feels the darkness within him surging, threatening to take control. Just as Jin begins to lose himself to the devil Jin, he hears Jun's voice echoing in his mind, reminding him of the love that once existed. "Fight for what is right, Jin. Remember who you are." Her words pierce through the fog of darkness, rekindling the hope within him. With newfound determination, Jin channels his inner strength, using the lessons learned from his past to overcome Nina in an epic showdown. With the tournament reaching its climax, Jin finally confronts both Kazuya and Heihachi. The arena is alive with anticipation as the three face off in a battle that transcends mere competition. The stakes are high, not just for victory but for the very souls of those involved. In the heat of battle, Jin pleads with them to recognize the pain and suffering that their choices have inflicted. "We can change. We can break this curse," he cries, his voice filled with emotion. The weight of their choices presses heavily upon them, forcing Kazuya and Heihachi to confront the consequences of their actions. But Kazuya, driven by rage and the allure of the devil Jin, struggles against the light that Jin embodies. The battle escalates into a maelstrom of energy, shaking the very earth beneath their feet. The air crackles with tension as the clash of powers reverberates through the arena. In a moment of desperation, Jin taps into the full potential of the devil Jin, summoning a force that rivals both his father and grandfather. As they fight, memories flood Jin's mind, visions of his mother, June, urging him to stay true to himself. "Remember who you are," she whispers, her voice echoing in the recesses of his heart. With each blow exchanged, Jin feels the weight of his lineage bearing down on him, yet he refuses to let it define him. He fights not just for survival but for the hope of a better future, a future free from the chains of the past. In the midst of their epic confrontation, the sky darkens, and a storm brews overhead. The ground shakes as the force of their blows resonates through the arena, and Jin feels the devil Jin surge within him, tempting him to join the fray. Just as the storm reaches its peak, Jin summons every ounce of strength he has. He channels his inner light, fighting against the darkness within him and the hatred surrounding him. With a blinding flash, the energy explodes outward, enveloping the arena. As the dust settles, they find themselves in a liminal space, a realm between light and shadow where the true essence of their spirits collides. Here, Jin confronts the manifestations of their inner demons: Kazuya's rage, Heihachi's ambition, and his own doubts. "We can break this curse. We must choose to love instead of hate." In that moment of truth, the three unite, their energies merging into a brilliant light. The darkness begins to recede, and the storm calms. As they return to the real world, they stand amidst the remnants of the tournament arena, forever changed. Though the curse is not completely broken, the bonds of their family are now fortified by a newfound understanding. As the fighters depart, each left with a renewed sense of purpose, Kazuya, with his heart slightly softened, vows to protect Jin and seek redemption. Heihachi, acknowledging his past mistakes, promises to guide his grandson toward a better future. And Jin, the bridge between light and dark, understands that his journey is just beginning. With every step, he will strive to bring love and hope to a world overshadowed by violence and despair. In the aftermath of the tournament, whispers of the Mishima family's legacy echo throughout the world. The battle may have concluded, but the journey toward healing has only just begun. Fighters from every corner of the globe reflect on their experiences, transformed by the events that transpired in that fateful arena. The scars of battle remain, but so do the bonds forged in combat, connections that transcend bloodlines and rivalries. As the sun sets on the horizon, casting a warm glow over the remnants of the tournament, Jin stands at the precipice of his future. He gazes out at the world before him, a tapestry of challenges and opportunities. He knows that the path ahead will not be easy, but he is determined to face it with the strength of his lineage guiding him. With renewed resolve, Jin vows to protect the ones he loves and to honor the memory of his mother. He will fight not just for victory but for justice, love, and a world free from the shackles of violence. And so, the story of Tekken continues, a tale of darkness and light, of blood and redemption, where each fighter's journey intertwines to create a legacy that will echo through time. Thank you for joining me on this dark and twisted journey through the Tekken universe. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click the notification bell to catch more epic tales. Until next time, peace be upon you all.